All right, so let's have a little chat about buying a used engine case. So, a lot of times your used engine cases is kind of like this. It works like this. They be saying, somebody goes, "Well, how much is a used case worth?" And I'm going to tell you, well, it's kind of like this. How much money are you willing to take to Vegas and gamble with? That's kind of a personal question. So, so, how much is a used case worth? It's kind of like asking someone that question. In my opinion, it's like, a lot of guys have them on. They say, "Oh, well, I know this case is good," and blah blah blah. Look, the only way that I'll buy a used case is if somebody says, "I'll meet you at the machine shop. We'll have them inspect it. I'll pay." If they're willing to pay the $20, fine, great. It'd be wonderful if they're willing to do that. But I would be willing to pay the $20 to have it inspected if the price was right. But I would tell them, if they had it inspected, maybe I would give them $200 if I could see from the people that it was good, and I knew for sure that it was in really good shape. It didn't need a lot of money put into it, because if you add up the cost of that case, having that case machined and everything else, and you pay what you paid used for the case. So let's say you needed $300 worth of machine work, you paid $200 for a used case. Now you're into a used case, $500. So, you kind of weigh that out as to far as what you're going to need. But the only way that I'll do it is I'll tell them, meet me at machine shop. I want them to inspect it. I want them to tell me if it's any good. Otherwise, it is no deal. I just won't even buy one. I'm to the point where it's just too much of a gamble. It's like if I get it for free, or if I get it for in a group of parts, then I'll take a chance on it. But I gotta be ahead enough on the rest of the group of parts that basically the case is free. Otherwise, it's not worth it to me, because I'm just gambling $20. I take $20, I gamble it, and guess what? Oh, sorry, no good. Wasted $20. Had it inspected, and it's no good. So let's talk real quick about aluminum cases, because this is kind of where you've got to decide what you're going to do. Aluminum cases, you order the case, you buy a case, aluminum case, it's already got shuffle pins in it. Let's take a look at what that is. So in the aluminum cases, they have shuffle pins. Around here where there's an O-ring, typically on your case, what they have is they have like a little sleeve that fits into this half of the case. And what that does is that prevents one of the biggest wear issues, where your case is actually doing this. Okay, a little bit of that you can't see, and what happens is it wears out your center main, and there's a lot of issues with the case movement. So the aluminum, because is a different material and it has shuffle pins in it, it's a much stronger, more fitting case. I mean, I've seen guys with aluminum cases that have broken crankshafts, and the crankshaft didn't even damage the line bore in the case. I've heard of guys with 100,000, 150,000 miles, pull the engine apart, and the case line bore is still good. Where you might be on your third or fourth line bore on 100,000 miles on a regular VW engine. So, if you did it all stock, I say, well, if it's all stock, then of course maybe it'll go 100,000 miles and you'll have to have it line bored. Which when you take it apart, it will need to be line bored at that point usually. So, so the other things that the aluminum case it comes with. So if you're going to build a bigger engine, first of all, they're already clearanced for the larger crankshafts. So they're already clearanced, so you don't have to pay for that machine work. You can order it for 90.5 pistons. You can order it for 94s. You can order it for 85.5. So you can order it for whatever you want in the engine. So it's already comes completely machined. You can say, okay, I want one already made with a sand seal. Comes that way if you want it that way. It already comes machined for the adding the outside oil cooler. They're pretty much turnkey, ready to go. So you got to think about that. as part of your purchase. So if you're going to go out and spend, you know, $400, $500 on a used case, and by the time you get the machine work done and everything, you're almost at that point where it's like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should just go out and just forget buying the used one and try and you know, whatever, and you move with a mag case and just go ahead and just get the aluminum one. So that's where you kind of always have to draw the line there. It's not, it's more of a financial decision than it is, and it depends on how long you're going to run your engine. Depends on whether you want to have that extra 25 pounds of weight for the aluminum case. But if you were going to go mag, let's say you were going to build another engine and go all mag because you just don't want to, you know, have that extra weight, I guess, you know. That's really the only reason. I think it would be kind of silly to go mag again if you were building a brand new engine and spending a lot of money on the stuff inside. I think it's almost like kind of pointless unless you already have a case. If you've already got a case and the case you know is good and you've had it inspected and it's already machined right and everything's done, then heck, you know, might as well build what you got. But if you're going to go out and buy one, you know, then it's like you said, it's more of a financial decision than anything else. So buying those used cases, so that's why if you know that you understand what the other ones cost, then you know that buying a used case can be a lot of a gamble. I mean, you can literally, you know, so let me give you an idea. Let's say you go out and buy a used case and you have it inspected. They say, okay, it's not cracked. It's the line bore, you know, you can do 2 or 3 more line bores on it. But then you still got to spend the money to get the cylinders open. And maybe you got to have it line bored, and you've got to do your full flow system. You got to do all that stuff to it. So you're like, well, you know, add up the cost of that stuff. If you add up all the costs of that, and you're kind of like, well, I got to pay $200 for this used case. I'm at my 3rd line bore, you know, and just weigh it out. If you think it's going to be worth it, then it's worth it. If it's not, it's not. But the only way that I'll do it, and only way I would recommend anybody doing it, is take that case to a machine shop, have them inspect it with the other person there. Even, you know, you may have to drop it off and then come back and pick it up and tell them, look, you know, we'll meet you here at, you know, whatever, tomorrow. We'll drop it off today. Meet you here tomorrow. I'll pay the $20. But, you know, that's if I'm getting a good deal on the case. If the guy says $200, I'm going to be like, you pay the $200. You pay the $20. You're going to be the one winning on this, I think. So, you know, that's the way I look at it. And then, you know, most of the time guys won't do that. So I just go, screw it then. I'll just buy a brand new case. So that's how I end up doing that. The only way that I end up buying used cases is usually when, like I said, it's in a lot of stuff. Let's say I look at a guy's yard or whatever, and he's got like 10 engines or something like that. And he's got carburetors. He's got a lot of tin. There's a lot of maybe other parts like bumpers and other things all in that same lot of parts, and I pay a pretty reasonable price for all of it. That's the only way I'll do it. That's the only way. I won't normally buy a used case because it's just too much of a gamble. Every time, you know, when you go to Vegas and you put down your $200 and your $100 and you go down to put Vegas and you pay $100, at least you had fun. You know, with a case, you just put down $100 and it's like putting it on a roulette table. Win or lose, you know, red, oh, sorry, you lose. You know, that's the way it is. So that's why I don't do it. And I wouldn't recommend it to other guys unless you're going to do, like I said, meet them at the machine shop. Anyway, I'll talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope that helps you guys make decisions.